Hi folks, I'm James Brown. I'm the volunteer podcast technician for Bethel Church Penticton. The reason why I'm coming to you today in this video is to give you an update on the changes that have been made to betheltab.ca since I last came to you with the formal version of how we upload. There have been some changes. And one of these changes is you won't be able to log in from the top of the web page anymore. You'll have to do it from the bottom where it says copyright 2018 Bethel Church Penticton, all rights reserved. This would normally say log in. But that's how you log in. You can log out the same way. And so the old way, you used to click on sermons. What happens if you click on sermons now? It doesn't, you'll notice it doesn't have the new sermon button or link. If you click on this pencil, which means edit, in that series photo, it will take you to this. Edit series. Most people, you don't really have to do this unless you're asked to, because it's mostly for adding sermon series photos and the subtitle and the description, which 9 times out of 10 really has nothing to do with us. So I wouldn't worry myself too much about that. This red banner here, it's basically an announcement. You can just click on the X. Anytime you go to a web page, it'll reappear. So when you're logged in as the sermons page admin person, which would be you, the fancy name for it's volunteer podcast technician, but on our web page, we're called the sermons page admin. So there's 2 ways in which you can add a new sermon. This is the quickest way. You just click on this quick add, which is a plus sign, and click on sermon. And it'll take you here. Another way is you click on site content and then click add sermon. And it'll take you to the same place. So now that we're here, get rid of this silly banner stuff because it can get very distracting. Title is the same. Subtitles in a new field in this web form. I wouldn't concern myself too much about it unless you're asked to enter a subtitle to the main title. Date's the same. Speaker is the same. The same drop down menu, and you choose from there. Sermon series, there's been a change to that. In the past, you would have to type in the sermon series title. Not so much anymore. So you just click on the drop down menu and you can choose from whatever is there in the list. There is a create new series option in this list. If there's no title for the sermon series, you click create new series and then you type the new series title, and that should take care of things. Passage is the same. You just type in the usual scripture verses that apply to the current sermon that you're adding to. Description's the same. Upload MP3 sermon audio is the same, with the same recommended file size under 50 megabytes. Video URL is the same. When we get to that stage where we're actually producing sermon videos, and we'll be doing that. Images, I wouldn't be too concerned about it unless you're asked specifically to do that. In the past, they have not suggested any dimensions, but in this new update, they've actually written some suggested dimensions. Then there's this blue box tip, which they haven't done in the past, but that's probably just to make things easier for the person that's adding the new sermon to organize things. File downloads. In the past, it used to be written to add sermon notes as a PDF. Actually, that was misstated. Like, yes, it's true. However, this what they have now is more accurate. And your files should be in common formats such as PDF, that's portable document format. That's your study notes. DOC, which is Microsoft Word document. And that's usually from 1997 up to 2003, the really old versions of Microsoft Word. I don't know if they'll take the new DOCX or not. I haven't tried it. But anyhow, MP3, etc. M4A, yes, iTunes will accept M4A. Although even though it says upload MP3 audio, you can upload M4A audio, which is MPEG Layer 4 audio. I just said that to complicate things even further, but be that as it may. And MP4 video files. And I say MP4 video files for the simple reason is I have been asked in the past to include an MP4 video file for a sermon illustration as part of the sermon post. So that's why that's like that. And another new thing is search tags. And that's usually within betheltab.ca if you want to enter some search terms. And it also helps with search engine optimization. So if you're going to use this feature, you type in, for example, sermon, comma, space, sermons, comma, space, etc., etc. Whatever is appropriate for the sermon that you're posting. As I said in the original upload, the tutorial, the password protection, please leave blank. We want everybody to be able to access our sermon content and download whichever sermon they like. So I would appreciate if you leave the password protection box blank. The usual save sermon and cancel are there. And I have some more things to let you in on before I conclude this update. So we go back to site content. So you ask, what do I do if I forget something, or I put something in a sermon post that I shouldn't have, and I need to go into a sermon and add it or delete it? Not to fear. So I'm going to use today's sermon as an example. So you go to this 3 horizontal dots, which is your more items. Click on it. You have 2 options, edit or delete. I wouldn't choose to delete unless you're very certain that you have to delete the sermon. Once you do that, you have to start it all over again by adding a new sermon. Most people, they would choose edit, and that's what I would do. So you click edit, and it takes you back to the sermon post that you've just created. So this is song intro sermon, and that's what I forgot to add. So I've basically done this for you. That's a prime example of forgetting to add something. So as you see, it's all pretty straightforward. So the last thing I need to let you know about is the logout. So you go up to this cameo, that's that little picture in the corner. If there isn't one, there'll probably be like some type of drawing. And there's profile settings, change password, help support. Help support usually is if you have a problem with the website itself, then you can call on them for technical support. But here's where you log out. Or if you're on the bottom of the web page where I showed you to log in, that's where you log out also. And then we'll just log out for this tutorial so that you'll be able to see what happens. So it comes back to the home page without your admin privileges. And that's basically all there is to it. So if you have any questions, concerns, or if some of what I'm talking about today has gone to your head, so to speak, you can go ahead and email me, jameshcb23@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer any question or concern or anything that you don't understand. And there's no question too simple or too stupid or too difficult to answer in this role, because we've all made our share of mistakes doing this job. So with that, I'm going to end this brief explanation of some of the changes that have been made to the betheltab.ca since it has been updated. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.